Hi, my name is Suzanne Day and I'm a student studying Communications Design at Swinburne University of Technology. Today I'm going to walk you through the printing production process of spot varnish.
So, what is spot varnish and why would you use it? Well, spot varnish is a clear varnish coating applied to paper or card. The varnish can be either matte, gloss or silk and is often used on heavier premium cardstock. Spot varnishes are used to create effective visual contrast. Use them to add depth and texture, create patterns or 3D tactile effects, or to highlight particular focal elements, such as a logo. Large areas covered in spot varnish keep out moisture and prevent damage, preserving the product for longer. Spot varnish is fairly environmentally friendly in the way that it is applied, and paper with varnish on it can be recycled. However, the raw ingredients of varnish do come from lots of different places, so checking whether varnish is sourced sustainably is a good idea if you're printing a lot of items. The most popular technique in spot varnishes is spot UV. Spot UV varnish is cured and hardened almost immediately with ultraviolet light, which is why it is called spot UV. This technique uses a thin layer of glossy varnish on a matte surface so that the elements reflect light well and look incredibly shiny. It is often used on business cards, presentation folders, brochures and book covers. Use it for audiences that need to be impressed by high-end luxury, quality and prestige. Spot UV works best with minimalist design and one-colour backgrounds. It looks especially prestigious on black backgrounds. Use it on coated stock only, otherwise more print runs will be needed to add coating to an uncoated stock. Add matte lamination to the coated stock for extra sharp contrast. Raised UV gloss coating is another popular spot varnish technique. It is similar to spot UV except that the coating is thicker and adds a much heavier texture to the surface. It is often used for patterns and makes people want to run their hands over it. This leads to emotional attachment through touch marketing. Raised UV coatings cost more than spot UV, so they tend to be used for longer lasting products such as high impact business cards, card sets and keepsake boxes. Here are some more creative ways that designers use spot varnishes. Printers can also add coloured ink to varnish to create effects like the Verve one pictured, or they can use embossing and raised varnish for even higher contrasts like the jumbo business cards. What happens at the printers? Well, spot varnish is applied to paper or card just like ink, but with an extra drying step. As the sheets run through the press, they are printed with all of the required colours and then the additional varnish layer as well. The printed sheets are then exposed to ultraviolet LED lamps which seal, dry and harden the varnish immediately. Infrared lamps used to be used in the past but take longer to dry the varnish, so an ultraviolet LED setup is preferred and is more environmentally friendly due to less energy being used, no emissions and longevity of globes. Spot UV coatings do not emit any gases once cured and contain no hazardous air pollutants. The only byproduct of spot UV printing is ozone gas, which breaks down into oxygen quickly. It's pretty easy to set up a file for spot varnish. You make a mask file which contains the solid coloured elements that you want varnished. You then label the file as a spot varnish mask and send it as a PDF alongside your artwork file. Sometimes printers are okay with receiving an artwork file with a mask layer inside it, but to alleviate any confusion, 2 files will do the job. Spot UV should not be printed on uncoated substrates as they are too absorbent and multiple print runs would be needed to fix it, which wouldn't be very environmentally friendly. So unless there is a specific effect you are after for a very long lasting item like a book cover, always aim for coated stock. It is also best not to print spot UV on anything with metallic inks, on paper less than 100 GSM, anything with foil stamping or anything that needs to be written on, or mailing labels. On the right are 2 examples where spot varnish has not been successful because the top design is too busy and the bottom design is conflicting communication. I created an invitation card for the Melbourne Writers' Festival event Immerse Yourself to show the file setup for a typical spot UV print job. You can see at the front and back of the card are normal artwork files with crop marks, and the spot UV mask file has black elements but also crop marks so it can be aligned to the artwork on the front of the card. Here's my digital render of the finished invitation card. My team researched all sorts of exciting embellishments including foiling, embossing and debossing and laser cutting. File setups were similar in nature to spot UV in that they all had a layer or a file indicating the elements to be embellished. Each embellishment had a few further constraints such as minimum widths of strokes and sizes of fonts, and these will vary with each printer.